Welcome back to the Inside Edge. I'm Bob McElligott alongside of Jody Shelley. We're joined right now by Blue Jackets forward Brandon Dubinsky. And Doobie, I asked you a couple of games ago when the last time, if ever, you were involved with a team that is playing like this one, especially in the third period of games. And you alluded back to your days with the Rangers when John Tortorella was the coach there. How similar is this situation to that one?
Well, I think we had a little bit of different team in New York, but I also think that it was a little bit different game then. It was a little bit tougher. There was a little bit more fighting. I think now there's more speed and more skill, and I think our team is certainly faster and more skilled than our New York team was. But I think our mindset was the same. It was going into third periods with the lead or even trailing or tied. Just a feeling like you were going to win the hockey game. And that's something that Torch has brought in and tried to put into our game, is just about having the right mindset and not getting rattled by the ups and downs of the game, and just going out and executing and playing at that even keel.
It's so impressive to me because we spoke before training camp. You were getting ready for the World Cup, and we talked about the Blue Jackets, and you said, we want to be prepared this year, and we want to be ready for the third period. And, I mean, it's one thing to say it, but you guys have actually done it. I mean, how have you done that? And as a veteran player, how valuable has it been for you to have done it in the past with this coach?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the first thing is going through his training camp, you automatically, he's going to put you in great shape, without a doubt, just by the nature of how difficult his training camp is. You're just going to get that next level of shape, and for some guys it's a level that I'm not sure if they knew that they could get to, and whether it's fighting through a long shift or, as Torch says, not giving in to certain situations, having that mental toughness. I knew all those things. I knew he was going to bring those things, and that was just based off my experiences in New York with him. Every year we seem to start well. We seem to have great third periods, and I think it all stemmed off just the way he went about his training camps and went about his meetings, and just really hammered it home. He's a guy that every single day he says the same thing. We got to have we got to have the right mindset. We got to focus on the next day. We got to prepare ourselves and be ready to go in the third period. And having gone through that with him before, I knew that we had a young group and a good group in here that was eager to learn and listen and would listen and respect and do the things that he said, and it's paying its dividends right now.
You know, the start of the year for you I'm sure it wasn't what you wanted individually, because you were struggling and not getting the points that you normally get, but you just persevered, you carried on. Boone Jenner had the same thing happen to him, and you guys were playing together, then you were playing apart, but it looks like you guys have put it all together now. You've caught up with your line mate, Cam Atkinson, because he's been rolling all year, but it was a lot of hard work, but it's starting to pay off, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. You've played long enough, you've been in sports long enough that things aren't always going to go your way. There could be a night where you feel like you could have 3 or 4 points and you walk away with 0. But if you continue to do the right things and prepare the right way, again, it goes back to ups and downs. You learn that. I think I've learned that as a veteran player. Things aren't always going to go your way, and you're going to have some down spells and some times where things aren't going your way, and you just got to continue to prepare the same way. And if you do, you trust the process, and things will come around, and things are starting to come around, and we're getting back to our game, which is forechecking and creating havoc around the net and getting some scoring chances, and they're starting to go in too.
I look at your role, and of course everyone wants to score goals, but last night in that game, in the third period, you caused 2 turnovers that led to a goal, and you're out there for big face-offs, big moments. Is that the role you see yourself in, or is there something else you want from your game?
Well, obviously I'd like to produce more points, but at the same time, when you're a part of a winning team, I think that's obviously the most important thing, and I mean that genuinely, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's, as you know, playing the game, there's nothing better than winning. So when you come to the rink, you enjoy coming to the rink every day when you're winning. Would I love to be on the first power play and jump over the boards and have one leg over every single time the whistle blows? Absolutely. 5-on-3s, all those type of things, offensive zone faceoffs. But I think, part of a successful team is having guys that are willing to accept their roles and do them to the best of their ability. And the role that I've been put in this year, a little bit more of a defensive role and taking those faceoffs and doing those things and PKing a lot. And it's something that I got to embrace because of the success that the team's having. And if that's the recipe for us to be a good team and find our way into the playoffs and have a good playoff run, then absolutely I'm on board with it.
Talking with Brandon Dubinsky, and I talked with John Tortorella the other day. It was after the Vancouver game because each power play unit had a goal in that game. And he said it was great because you guys have a little competition going amongst yourselves. So, those guys don't give you many opportunities. Sometimes they're scoring in the first 45 seconds of the power play. So what kind of bragging rights do you get when you guys jump out and score a goal?
Yeah, I mean, afterwards, it was funny actually. On the ice in the celebration, we started telling each other that we were the PP1 units. And, he said it's after the game and on the bench and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. I mean, every time those guys step on the boards, over the boards, it's almost like we expect them to score now. And if they don't, we got to go out there and try and do the job. And things have been rolling that way, and it's a fun competition to have. And it's something that's going to be important. We got to work on our penalty kill, make sure our penalty kill starts to get better than it has been, and because as we know, specialty teams in this league play a huge part of wins and losses, and we could be getting away with a few right now with a PK that's not performing up to its abilities, and so we got to right that ship, and if we get both going, we'll be even more dangerous.
There's a lot of talk and there's been a lot of buzz about the young guys who've come into this organization, and it's fantastic. They've done a great job. But as a veteran guy who's been here, how proud are you of the group that's been around you for the last 3 or 4 years and the steps they've taken and maybe the roles they've had to embrace that they haven't really wanted to be embracing?
Yeah, it's important. Like I said earlier, it's about embracing the roles and being a leader by example. And I feel like we have a lot of leaders in our dressing room, and some guys we've been through a lot of ups and downs here, and right now we're on an upswing, and it's just something that since we've been through the tough times in this organization, it's something that we want to keep going. So it's important for each of us to continue to embrace our role and continue to try and teach young guys and keep them happy and in their roles and just keep this thing rolling.
Sorry, Bob. How good are they for you guys too, those young guys pushing?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, every single day coming to the rink, I mean, those guys are just full of energy. They're fun to be around. It's when you're winning, it's always fun, but especially when you got so many young guys and so much youth, and it's fun to be around them, and they make the game fun for you and make you feel a little younger too.
Yeah, and that's really what I was going to ask you. The fact that these guys are not just young, they won a championship last year, and they took off pretty much from Christmas right through the playoffs. They took off, so they come in with a ton of confidence, not only about their own game, but they just expect to win. And especially early on when this thing started, how much of that bled into the room, that expectancy? I mean, as a veteran guy, you look around and go, hey, these guys are just expecting to win every day. We got to pick it up.
Yeah, without a doubt, and rightfully so. I mean, these young guys, they're not just coming in and filling spots on this team. These guys are coming in and playing massive roles. I mean, Josh Anderson's been great from us right from the get-go as far as energy, scoring timely goals, getting the odd scrap. Obviously, we know what Zach Werenski's done. Nudavara, I got to be honest, I didn't even know who Marcus Nudavara was, I think, until I got back from Toronto. And here's a guy that was a 7th-round pick, 15th in the last draft. And, he's just getting better each and every day. And, so these guys are huge parts of our team right now and are going to be huge parts of our team moving forward if we want to be successful.
When you look at your defensive core and your goaltending right now, and Curtis McElhinney was in last night, and just tremendous how that played out for him at the end of that game. You guys seem like a complete team, and when things like that happen, and how good is it to have something like that to feel good about, especially for a guy like him who works so hard?
Yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievable in all the games that he's played in this year, and that's the hardest job in hockey, being a guy especially on this team because we don't practice very often. So I mean, he's seeing pucks from just a couple of the extra guys or a couple of the guys that go on for the optional skates. So he's not seeing a lot of like game-like action, and for him to go in and play the way he did after not playing for a couple weeks and making 45, 50 saves, it's incredible. And it really just, speaks to the fact of how good of a professional he is and how well he takes care of himself and prepares himself mentally for when he gets his opportunity. He takes advantage of it, and I can tell you right on through every time we know Mac's starting. It's not like Bob's not starting. It's like, all right, Mac's in net. He's going to give us a chance to win tonight every single time, and it's a comforting feeling having two guys in there that allow you to feel that way.
As great as everything has been, it's 30 games. There's a lot of games left to play. You guys have been really great this year at saying we're going to take it one game at a time. So we've got this game, now we've got this game, then we'll have the next game. How do you maintain that as the excitement builds? Because now the excitement's coming from the outside too. You know it. And you're home all week here. You go out to the grocery store. You go get something to eat. People are talking now. How do you maintain that focus?
Well, I think first of all, it starts in the dressing room. I mean, we talked about it this morning. I mean, we talked about it. We talk about it in our meetings, and that's something I talked about earlier with Torts and his accountability. He's somebody that if you're not talking about it or you're not doing it, he's going to let you know. So you're one way or another, you're going to do that. You're going to take it a game at a time, and you're going to focus on what's right in front of you and not so far in the future. And also, he's going to let you know that it's only been 30 games rather than a season. And I'm sure he's told you guys that too. So, but at the same time, we need to take some ownership, being a part of the leadership group and really embracing that, because having been on some teams that have been successful, that's the right approach. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. I feel like we really. I hate bringing up last year. I know everybody does, but there was a lot of expectations, and we kind of looked ahead towards, what are we going to be at the end of this year, rather than taking care of the year, and how fast did it slip away from us. So there's always learning lessons and stepping stones along the way, and I think this is a good situation for us, and our leadership group and our coaching staff and the guys within that dressing room are making us keep it one day at a time, and I think everyone's embracing it.
Is it harder than you thought to win games like this? I mean, you guys are on a roll like I've never seen. Are you surprised, or are you, when you look at what's been done, when you finish a game and you prepare for the next work day, is it harder or is it different than what you thought it would be?
Not really. I think that it's just, it's been something that we've talked about so much over the last few months, and really at the end of last year before we left, is something about getting your head straightened out and getting ready for this grind. I think we enjoyed last night's game, but I don't think anybody came in this morning hooting and hollering and jumping for joy. I think it was just business. I think guys were we went into our meetings with a business-like attitude, and it was just on to the next. So people ask about what it's being part of a record or history with the Blue Jackets and stuff, and it's all great. But if you ask me, I mean, it's just like, for me, it's how can we win number 11? I don't think it's being satisfied with 10. It's how can we win number 11? And I think I would speak for the 20 guys in the dressing room when I say that.
Number 11 is against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So again, from the outside, like everybody in this town is going to say, okay, here's a great opportunity to play a team that you played in the playoffs a couple of years ago and they got by you. But for you guys, you're taking on the defending Stanley Cup champions. They're coming off a big win. They just put up 7 goals in a win last night. So just looking at them and their team, you know them so well. How do you neutralize them?
Well, I think first of all, we can't look at it that way and worry about it as the Pittsburgh Penguins. We got to worry about ourselves. And I think when you go into a game and you worry about and you take care of number 1, which is your own team, you end up with a better result. So we're gonna have to go into tomorrow's game, and obviously they got some great players. They got a great team, and the coaches are gonna put a game plan forward for us on certain little things and tendencies. But most importantly, it's just going to be about how we come out and not testing the waters against a good team like that, but trying to dictate the play and trying to defend our home ice. And we always talk about in the locker room, nobody comes into Nationwide and gets points off us. And so it's just about how are we going to start the game and how are we going to try and carry that on through 60 minutes and talk about all the things that make us a successful team, which is, playing as units of 5, our D getting up the ice, our forwards making sure they're back checking, making sure we're on the forecheck, throwing pucks to the net, and trying to win the specialty teams battles. And if we do those things and take care of ourselves, I like our chances. I think with our team and the way things are going, we'll have a really good chance to win.
And isn't this your kind of game? A big challenge and an Eastern Conference team?
Yeah, I mean, you love playing against. I love playing against these guys, and division team. These games are always fun, easy games to get up for. We know that Nationwide is going to be buzzing tomorrow. The boys are excited about that, but again, it's about taking the intensity and the atmosphere and channeling in the right direction and making sure each guy is ready to go. And like I said, with this team, I'm not worried about it. I know we'll be ready to play.
Well, quite a busy time here. You were in Canada all last week, 3 games in 4 days this week. Did you get a chance to get ready for Christmas?
Well, that's a good thing about having a wife. She takes care of all the.
She can't buy her own things, right? You had to at least do that.
I looked after her. So, but the rest has been taken care of, and we're headed out to Boston, and things have been shipped out there already. So it's things are good. Things are good right now.
Well, Doobie, thank you very much for taking time with us. We appreciate it. Congratulations on the run that you're on and that your team is on, and best of luck against the Pens.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate
this.
it. Yep.
That's forward Brandon Dubinsky. We'll be back with more of the Inside Edge on 97.1 The Fan.